Zoe Park stared at the package on her doorstep. Plain brown box. No return address. No shipping label. Just her name written in elegant handwriting. Zoe Park, horror game specialist. Austin, Texas. She lived in a secure apartment building. Packages didn't just appear. Security was tight. Camera everywhere. Yet here it was, like it had materialized from nothing. Zoe carried it inside. Her streaming setup dominated the living room. 3 monitors. Professional lighting. Green screen, camera, microphone, the tools of her trade. She was a Twitch streamer. Horror games. 500,000 followers. Good money. Better community. Best job in the world. She'd built her channel over 3 years, playing the scariest games. Never screaming, never running. Just calm commentary and fearless gameplay. Her followers loved her. Zoe Fearless. That was her brand. She opened the package. Inside was a VR headset. Not any brand she recognized. Custom-built, expensive-looking, sleek black design with gold accents. And a note. Dear Zoe, you've played every horror game, except this one. Eternal Night. True Immersion Mode. Stream it. Your followers will never forget. A fan. Below the note was a USB drive. Presumably the game. Zoe turned the headset over in her hands. It was beautiful. High-end. The kind of equipment that cost thousands, but also weird. Who sends anonymous VR headsets? Who has this kind of money? Who knows her address? Red flags everywhere, but also opportunity. Have you ever received a gift that felt like a threat? When curiosity battles survival instinct? Zoe set up the headset, connected it to her computer, inserted the USB drive. The game installed quickly. No company logo, no developer credits, just a title screen. Eternal Night. True Immersion Mode. Warning, realistic content. Proceed with caution. She checked her streaming software. Everything ready. Chat open. Camera on. Microphone hot. Zoe went live. Hey everyone, Zoe Fearless here. She smiled at the camera. Got something special today. Mystery VR horror game. Anonymous sender. Very mysterious. Very suspicious. Obviously we're playing it. Chat exploded. Her followers loved mystery games. Loved weird stories. Loved when Zoe did something risky. Dark Gamer 80. 8. This is how horror movies. Start Scream Queen 23. Don't do it, Zoe Horror. Fan Mike. Yes, I love this already, Night Owl 99. 500 watching already. This gonna be good within minutes, 5,000 viewers. Then 10,000. Word spread fast. Zoe Fearless was doing something crazy. Again. Alright, let's see what True Immersion Mode means. Zoe put on the headset. Adjusted the fit. Check the controllers. If I die in game, call an ambulance. Chat laughed. She laughed. Everyone thought it was a joke. She launched the game. The world went black. Zoe opened her eyes. She was standing in a Victorian London street. Cobblestones, gas lamps, fog everywhere. The detail was incredible. Photorealistic. More real than any VR she'd experienced. She looked down. She was wearing different clothes. Long coat, boots, weapons belt, crossbow on her back, stakes at her hip. Holy shit, she whispered. The graphics are insane. She checked her wrist. Usually VR games showed a menu interface. Health bars, settings, exit button, nothing, just her arm. Real looking, detailed down to individual skin pores. Guys, can you see this? She reached for where her camera should be. Habit. But of course there was no camera in VR. She was seeing through the headset. Her stream was seeing what she saw. A notification appeared in her vision. Floating text. Game UI. Welcome, Hunter. Objective, find and destroy the collector time limit. None difficulty, permadeath. Permadeath. Great. So if I die, I start over. Zoe walked forward. Testing the controls? The movement was smooth, natural, like walking in real life. This is the best VR I've ever played. Seriously, who made this? The street was empty. Dark. Fog thick enough to limit visibility. Victorian buildings loomed on both sides. Everything silent except her footsteps. Too silent. Horror game silent. Something's about to jump out silent. Zoe drew a stake from her belt. The weight felt real. The texture perfect.
All right, collector.
Where are you? A scream. Distant. Female. Coming from an alley ahead. Of course there's a scream. Zoe moved toward it. Never trust the scream. Always a trap. But we're going anyway because content. Chat was going crazy. 50,000 viewers now. Growing every minute. Tech guru. Sam. Those graphics are unreal for enthusiasts. What headset is that? I need it game dev datas. Lisa. This doesn't look like any engine I know Creeper watch. Zoe, your viewer count is exploding. She entered the alley. The scream stopped. Silence returned. Just fog and darkness and the sound of her breathing. Then she saw her. A woman. Victorian dress. Pale. Terrified. Backed against a wall. Please, the woman whispered. Help me, he's coming. The collector. He takes people. Drains them. You have to stop him. Where is he? Zoe asked. The woman's AI was impressive. Facial expressions perfect. Fear looked real. Everywhere. Nowhere. He moves through shadows. Through fog. Through... The woman exploded into black smoke. Gone. Like she'd never existed. Okay, that was dramatic. Zoe turned, scanning the alley. Classic misdirection. He's behind me, isn't he? She was right. A man stood 10 feet away. Tall, Victorian suit. Top hat. Pale skin. Red eyes. Fangs visible even in the darkness. The collector. Hello, Hunter. His voice was smooth. Cultured. British accent.
Welcome to my game.
I've been waiting for you. Specifically you. Zoe Park. Descendant of the bloodline that imprisoned me. Zoe froze. How do you know my real name? This is a game. NPCs don't... This isn't a game. The collector smiled. This is a prison, and you're the key to my escape. He lunged. Zoe fired the crossbow. Bolt hit his chest. He staggered, screamed, but didn't die. She ran. Back to the main street. Heart pounding. This felt too real. Too intense. Way beyond normal VR. She reached for the menu. Exit button, quit game. Take off headset, nothing, no interface. No escape option. No way out. The headset felt locked to her head. Not physically. She could probably rip it off if she tried, but something deeper. The game held her. Trapped her. Bound her. Chad, I think I'm stuck, she said. I can't find the exit. The game won't let me disconnect. Can you guys see a way to... Pain, sudden, sharp, her shoulder. She looked down. Claw marks. Blood. Real blood. Her blood. The collector was behind her. Had caught up. Had hurt her. You feel that? He whispered. That's true immersion mode. What happens in here happens out there. Your real body. Your real blood. Your real death. Have you ever felt pain that shouldn't exist? When virtual becomes visceral and games become deadly? Zoe's real-world body, sitting in her streaming chair, started bleeding. From the shoulder, through her shirt, on camera, live. 50,000 people watching. Chat erupted in panic. DarkGamer88. Call 911, Medic Mike. She's bleeding real. Blood Scream Queen 23. This isn't a game horror fan, Mike. Someone call help, but Zoe couldn't see chat. Couldn't hear their warnings. She was trapped. In the game. With a vampire. With no way out. And the only rule was permadeath. Die in game. Die in real life. Let's play, the collector said. And may the best hunter win. Zoe ran through Victorian London. The collector chasing. Always behind, always close. Never quite catching her. Playing with her. She ducked into a building. Church, Gothic, stained glass, pews, altar, classic vampire movie setting. This is insane, she panted. If you're real? If this is real? Why? Why trap me in a video game? The collector appeared at the entrance. Blocked the only exit. Because your ancestor trapped me. Elizabeth Park, 1847. Vampire hunter. She used ancient magic. Bound me to this place, this digital prison. When technology advanced, the prison adapted. Became code. It became game. Became this. That's impossible. Magic doesn't exist? You're talking to a vampire in a VR game that bleeds you in real life. What's impossible? The collector moved closer. Slow. Confident. Your bloodline is the key. Elizabeth's descendants. Only you can free me. Or keep me trapped. How do I keep you trapped? You don't. You're already helping me escape. What? Look at your stream. Check your viewer count. Zoe didn't understand, but she focused. Willed the game to show her streaming stats. A notification appeared. Floating in her vision. Current viewers 127 to 483. Engagement 98.7% power level. 12%. What is power level? she asked. My escape meter. Every person watching me, seeing me, acknowledging my existence, gives me power, breaks the prison, weakens the spell. The collector smiled. Your ancestor trapped me in obscurity, made me forgotten, hidden, unknown, but you're showing me to hundreds of thousands, soon millions. And when enough people see me, I'm free. Have you ever realized you're the villain in your own story? When trying to save yourself means dooming everyone else? Zoe's mind raced. She'd been streaming for 20 minutes, 127,000 viewers, growing exponentially, word spreading, clips going viral. Her biggest stream ever, and every viewer was helping a vampire escape his prison. I'll end the stream, she said. I'll quit. Turn it off. No one will watch. You can't quit, remember? No exit, no menu, no escape. You're trapped until one of us dies. Me or you. Permadeath. Those are the rules. Then I'll kill you. I'm the hunter. You're the vampire. I have weapons, stakes, crossbow, sunlight grenades probably. Try, Zoe charged. Stake in hand, aimed for his heart. She was fast, trained, good at games, good at combat. The collector was faster.
Centuries faster.
He caught her wrist, twisted. She dropped the stake. He threw her across the church. She hit a pew. Pain exploded through her ribs. On her real body, in her streaming chair, bruises formed. Ribs cracked. Visible damage. Chat was in chaos. People were calling 911, posting her address, screaming for help. But what could anyone do? She was trapped in a game. Dying in a game. No one could reach her. You're not a real hunter, the collector said. You're a gamer, a streamer. You play pretend. I'm real, ancient, powerful. You can't beat me. Then what do you want? Zoe coughed, blood in her mouth. Why not just kill me? And this? Because I need you alive. For the escape. Your death breaks the spell. But your fear, your struggle, your audience watching you suffer, that feeds me, strengthens me. Every second you survive, every viewer you attract, I get closer to freedom. So this is content. For you, I'm your stream. Exactly. You understand. The irony is beautiful. The streamer becomes the stream. The hunter becomes the hunted. The entertainment becomes the entertained. Zoe stood. Slowly. Everything hurt. Real pain, real injuries, real consequences. She looked at the viewer count. 150,000. Still growing. If she kept fighting, kept surviving, kept creating content. The vampire escaped. But if she died, the spell broke anyway. Probably. And she had no way to end the stream. No way to stop viewers from watching. No way to reduce his power. She was trapped. Completely. In a game designed to free him no matter what she did. There has to be a way, she said. To stop you. To keep you trapped. There's always a way. Then find it. You have time. I'm patient. I've been here 177 years. I can wait a few more hours while you struggle. While your audience grows. While I get stronger. The collector vanished. Dissolved into smoke. Gone. Zoe was alone. In a church. In Victorian London. In a VR prison. With no way out. No way to win. No way to stop the vampire from escaping through her stream. She checked the viewer count. 200,000. And rising, Zoe sat in the church pew. Thinking, planning, her ribs hurt. Her shoulder bled. But she was alive. For now, she needed to understand the rules. Every game had rules. Exploits. Weaknesses. She just had to find them. Okay, chat. If you can hear me. She spoke to the empty air. To the camera she couldn't see. To the audience she couldn't reach. I need information. About my family. Elizabeth Park, 1847. Vampire hunter. Someone research, please. She had no idea if anyone could hear her. If her voice was reaching the stream. If chat was helping. But in her streaming room, her real body sat motionless. Eyes closed, bleeding, bruised, but still streaming. Still live? And chat was exploding with activity. Tech guru, Sam, I'm researching Elizabeth Park now. History buff. Jane, 1847. Vampire hunters were documented in London game. Dev, Lisa. This code is real? I'm analyzing the stream data medic mic. Ambulance is 10 minutes out. Hang on Zoe Dark Gamer 88. 250K viewers now. This is going viral, 250,000. And growing. Every share, every retweet, every clip. More viewers. More power for the vampire. Inside the game, Zoe explored the church. Looking for clues, items, anything. She found a diary. Old, leather-bound. sitting on the altar. She opened it. Diary of Elizabeth Park, Vampire Hunter, London, 1847. I have hunted the collector for 3 years. He has killed 17 people, drained them, collected their souls in jars, displays them like trophies. He must be stopped, but he is too powerful, too fast, too clever. I cannot kill him, so I will trap him. Using the old magic, the binding spell. It requires a prison, a place between places, a forgotten space. I have found it. The space between awareness and forgetting. The place where things exist only when observed. Schrödinger's prison. He will be trapped there, unknown, unseen, forgotten, but the spell requires a key. My blood, my lineage, only my descendants can maintain the prison, or break it. I pray they are wiser than I. I pray they keep him locked away. Forever. The diary ended. Zoe stared at it. Understanding dawning. Elizabeth Park, her ancestor, had trapped the collector in a quantum prison, a place that existed only in the absence of observation, when no one knew about him, when no one saw him. He remained trapped. But observation freed him. Awareness, attention, viewers. And Zoe had given him the biggest audience imaginable. A live stream, hundreds of thousands of people, all watching, all observing, all breaking the spell. I'm an idiot, she whispered. I weaponize social media for a vampire. Have you ever realized your greatest strength is your biggest weakness? When the tools you mastered become weapons against you? A voice echoed through the church. The collector. Not visible. Just his voice. Everywhere. You understand now. Good. It makes the game more interesting when you know the rules. Yes, you're freeing me. Yes, every viewer helps. Yes, you're doomed. But there's still hope. One slim hope. What hope? The spell can be reinforced, strengthened, made permanent. But it requires a sacrifice. What sacrifice? A Park descendant, willingly entering the prison forever, taking my place, becoming the forgotten one, the unseen, the unknown. Zoe's blood ran cold. You want me to trap myself, here, forever, in your place? It's the only way to keep me imprisoned. You enter, willingly, permanently, and I remain trapped with you, neither of us able to escape. A stalemate, forever. Or I just let you escape and I go free. Yes, that's the other option. Let me go. End the stream when you die, or I escape. You survive. Return to your life, your followers, your career, just with the knowledge that you unleashed a vampire on the world, that every death he causes is your responsibility. Your fault, your legacy. The choice was impossible. Trap herself forever, or doom the world. There has to be another way, Zoe said. There isn't. I've had 177 years to explore every possibility. These are your options. Choose, or let time choose for you. The collector's presence vanished. Zoe was alone again. She checked the viewer count. 300,000. Accelerating. At this rate, she'd hit 1 million in a few hours. Zoe left the church, explored Victorian London, looking for answers. Weapons. Anything. The city was massive, detailed, perfect. Streets, buildings, NPCs, all realistic, all interactive. A fully realized world, but also wrong, uncanny, too perfect. Like a museum, a snapshot of London frozen in 1847, never changing, never aging, trapped. Just like the collector, she found a weapons shop. The door was open. Inside, crossbows, stakes, holy water, silver bullets, garlic, mirrors, all the classic vampire hunting tools. Zoe loaded up, armed herself, prepared for battle, but she knew it was pointless. She'd already tried fighting. He was too strong, too fast. Centuries of experience against her gaming skills. She couldn't win by combat. She had to win by rules, by game mechanics, by exploiting the system. Every game had exploits. Glitches, unintended mechanics. She just had to find them. Time passed strangely in the game. Hours felt like minutes, or minutes felt like hours. Hard to tell. No day-night cycle. Just perpetual dusk, eternal twilight. She wandered, explored, tested boundaries. The city seemed infinite, but probably wasn't. Probably had edges. Limits, invisible walls. She found them. At the edge of London. Past the buildings. Into countryside. A barrier. Invisible but solid. Like hitting a wall in VR, the edge of the game world. So you're limited, she said, not all-powerful, just trapped in a defined space. That's useful. A notification appeared. Floating text. Viewers 456,789. Power level 45%. 456,000 viewers. 45% to escape. Halfway there, at this rate. 2 more hours. Maybe 3. Then 1 million viewers. Then freedom. Zoe had to find the answer. Fast. She found a library. Victorian. Massive. Books everywhere. She searched for information about the spell. The prison. The collector. Most books were props. Unreadable. Just decorations. But some were real. Interactive. Lore books. Explaining the world. She found one. The Binding. A treatise on quantum imprisonment, she read. To trap a creature in the space between observation and forgetting requires 3 components. A prison, the quantum space itself. 2. A jailer, the bloodline maintaining the spell. 3. A lock, the condition of observation. The creature remains trapped as long as it remains unobserved, unknown, forgotten. But observation breaks the lock. Attention frees the prisoner. However, the spell can be reversed, made permanent. If a willing jailer enters the prison, takes the place of the prisoner, then both remain trapped. Forever. In mutual imprisonment. This requires consent, sacrifice, permanence. Once entered, never escaped. Zoe closed the book. So it was true. The only way to stop the collector was to trap herself with him. Forever. Give up her life, her career, her freedom, her future, everything, to save a world that would never know she'd saved it. Because if she succeeded, she'd be forgotten. Unknown. Unseen. That was the nature of the prison. That's a terrible choice, she said. All meaningful choices are terrible. The collector appeared, sitting across from her in the library. That's what makes them meaningful. Easy choices aren't really choices. They're just obvious paths. Why are you telling me this? Why give me information? Why not just let me die and escape? Because I'm bored. 177 years of solitude, of darkness, of nothing. I want conversation, challenge, entertainment. You're the first interesting person I've encountered in decades. I want to see what you choose, what you do, how you respond. You're insane. I'm ancient. There's a difference. Time erodes everything. Sanity, morality, purpose. After centuries, all that remains is curiosity, amusement, watching how things unfold. Zoe studied him. This vampire, this prisoner, this monster. He seemed almost sad, lonely, desperate for connection. Just like her followers, just like everyone on the internet, seeking attention, validation, recognition. You're lonely, she said, profoundly, eternally, irreparably. Then why escape? You'll just be alone in a bigger prison. The modern world, where everyone's connected but no one connects, where millions of people are watching but no one really sees. The collector smiled, sad, knowing. You understand. That's why you stream. That's why you perform. You're lonely too, surrounded by thousands but truly known by none. The modern condition, digital isolation. Have you ever recognized yourself in a monster? When the villain's pain mirrors your own. I stream because I love it, Zoe said. Because I love games, horror, my community. You stream because you're terrified of being forgotten, of being unseen, of existing without witnesses. That's why you chose horror games. Maximum engagement, maximum attention, maximum proof that you exist. Zoe said nothing. Because he was right. And it hurt. We're not so different, the collector continued. You trap yourself in performance. I'm trapped in prison. Both of us desperate for observation, for acknowledgement, for proof we matter. The difference is I can log off. You can't? Can you? Really? When's the last time you went a day without streaming? Without checking your follower count? Without measuring your worth in views and likes and engagement? You're as trapped as I am, just in a prison of your own making. Zoe stood. I'm not having an existential crisis with a vampire. I'm finding a way to stop you. Good luck. You have 90 minutes, based on current viral growth projections. Then I'm free, and you'll have to live with the consequences, or die trying to prevent them. Either way, I win. He vanished, again, leaving Zoe alone with her thoughts, her fears, her impossible choice. She checked her viewer count. Viewers, 612,394. Power level, 61%, 600,000. Growing faster, going viral, clips everywhere. Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, everyone sharing, everyone watching, everyone helping the vampire escape. She had an idea, desperate, insane, but possible. What if she could communicate with chat? Tell them to stop watching? Mass exodus. Viewer count drops. Power level decreases. Prison reinforces. But how? She had no interface, no menu, no way to type. Just her voice, her actions, her performance. Then she remembered. She was a streamer. Performance was her skill. Communication was her tool. She could use the environment, the game, the world itself, to send messages. Zoe ran through London, looking for something, anything readable, visible to camera. She found a street sign, pulled it down, used a piece of coal from a nearby chimney, wrote on the back of the sign, "Stop watching, every viewer helps vampire escape, leave stream now please." She held it up, facing where she estimated the camera was, her real-world camera, hoping it was visible, hoping chat could see. In her streaming room, the sign appeared on screen. Clear, readable, desperate. Chat exploded. Dark Gamer 88. Holy shit, she's communicating tech guru, Sam. She wants us to leave? Game dev Lisa. But if we leave, we can't help her. Medic Mike. This is a paradox. Scream Queen 23. I'm not leaving. She needs us. Horror fan, Mike. Viewer count is 650K now. The problem was obvious. People wouldn't leave. They were invested, concerned, curious. This was the most interesting stream ever. History being made. Content gold. No one was leaving. Viewer count kept rising. Zoe's desperate message had the opposite effect. More people shared it. More people joined. More people wanted to see what happened next. She'd made it worse. Viewers, 7011, 847. Power level, 70%, 70%. 30 minutes left, maybe less. Zoe dropped the sign, hopeless, defeated, out of ideas. The collector appeared, applauding, slow, mocking. Brilliant attempt, truly. But you misunderstand human nature. People don't look away from tragedy. They watch. They record. They share. They consume. You know this. You built a career on it. There has to be something I can do. There is. Die. Or surrender. Or trap yourself. Those are your options. Time's almost up. Choose. I need more time. You don't get more time. That's not how this works. The stream continues. The viewers grow. The power builds. And then I'm free. Inevitable. Unstoppable. Certain. Zoe looked at him. This ancient vampire. This lonely prisoner. This monster who understood her better than anyone. And she made a decision. Not the one he expected. Not the one she expected. But the only one that made sense. Okay, she said. I'll do it. I'll trap myself. Take your place. Keep you imprisoned. Forever. The collector's expression shifted. Surprise. Disbelief. Respect. You're serious? Yes. Tell me how. What do I need to do? You need to reach the center of the prison, the heart of the quantum space. There's a chamber, a throne. You sit in it. You accept the terms. You become the jailer. Willingly, permanently, and the spell binds you instead of me. And you, I remain trapped, with you, neither of us able to leave. But at least, I won't be alone, not anymore. Show me where. The collector hesitated. For the first time he looked uncertain, conflicted. Are you sure? Once you enter, there's no escape. Ever. You'll be 24 forever. Never aging, never dying, never leaving, just existing, in this prison, with me. For eternity. Have you ever chosen a fate worse than death? When sacrifice isn't noble, just necessary? I'm sure, Zoe said, because if I don't, you escape, and that's worse. So show me, now, before I change my mind. The collector nodded, slowly, sadly. Follow me. The chamber is below, deep below, in the darkness where the prison began. He led her down. Through streets, through sewers, through tunnels, deeper into Victorian London, deeper into the game. Deeper into the trap, and Zoe followed, because she was a hero, or a fool, or both, knowing that in 30 minutes she'd be trapped forever. But the world would be safe. The vampire would remain imprisoned. And no one would ever know. She'd be forgotten, unseen, unknown, just like the prison required. The ultimate sacrifice. The permanent stream. The final game. She followed the collector into darkness and hoped she was making the right choice. They descended through Victorian London, down staircases that shouldn't exist, through tunnels carved from impossible geometry, into depths that felt less like architecture and more like code, like glitches in reality. The walls flickered, textures repeated, geometry broke down. They were leaving the designed parts of the game, entering the foundation, the raw prison itself. "This is where Elizabeth trapped me," the collector said. His voice echoed strangely, multiple layers, like audio files stacking. The deepest part of the quantum space, the place most forgotten, most unseen. The perfect prison. "How long have you been down here?" Zoe asked. "All of it. 177 years, in this darkness. Alone, aware but unseen, existing but forgotten. Do you know what that does to consciousness? To identity? To sanity? You seem pretty sane." "I'm not. I just hide it well. Centuries of nothing but your own thoughts, your own memories, your own regrets. It breaks you, reshapes you, makes you into something else, something that craves observation. The way humans crave oxygen." They reached a door, massive, stone, ancient, covered in symbols, runes, code, digital and mystical merged beyond. "This door is the chamber," the collector said. "Once you enter, once you sit on the throne, and once you accept the terms, you're bound forever, no escape, no release, no death, just existence in forgetting." Zoe put her hand on the door. It was cold, too cold, like touching absence itself. She checked the viewer count one last time. Viewers, 708 Imauthors 392. Power level, 78% 784,000. 22% from freedom. Maybe 20 minutes. She was out of time. Out of options. Out of everything except this one terrible choice. "Wait," the collector said. Zoe turned. He looked conflicted, tormented, ancient pain in his eyes. "You don't have to do this," he said quietly. "I know I said those were your only options. But I lied. There's another way." "What way?" "Let me escape. I promise I won't hurt anyone. I'll feed ethically. Blood banks. Volunteers. I'll be careful. Controlled. I just want to exist. To be seen. To matter again. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. We can both be free." Zoe studied him. "This vampire, this liar, this desperate, lonely monster." "You're lying," she said. "You'll hurt people. You can't help it. You're a vampire, a predator. Centuries of hunger don't disappear because you promise to be good. You're right. I probably will hurt people eventually. The hunger always wins. But maybe with help, with someone who understands, I could be different. Are you asking me to rehabilitate you? I'm asking you not to throw your life away. You're 24. You have decades ahead. Streaming, gaming, living. Don't trap yourself in eternal darkness for a world that won't even know you saved it. Have you ever been tempted by the monster's mercy, when the villain offers salvation wrapped in damnation?" Zoe almost wavered, almost considered it, almost chose herself over the world. Then she thought about her followers, her community, the people who watched her, trusted her, believed in her fearlessness. They'd never know she saved them, but she'd know, and that had to be enough. "Open the door," she said. The collector nodded, sad, resigned, understanding. He pushed. The massive door swung open. Silent, revealing the chamber beyond. The chamber was enormous, cathedral-sized, carved from stone and code. Physical and digital architecture merged. At the center stood a throne, black stone, covered in runes, pulsing with dark energy. "That's it," the collector said. The collector listened, heard her voice, felt her presence, and smiled. Because he wasn't completely forgotten. Not anymore. One witness. One observer. One person who saw him. It wasn't freedom, but it was something. And after 177 years of nothing, something was everything. 3 months passed. Zoe's life returned to normal. Streaming, gaming, community engagement, sponsorships, conventions, the usual influencer grind. Her injuries healed. Physical scars faded, but the mental scars remained. The knowledge. The memory. The truth no one else carried. She was the only person on Earth who remembered the collector, the only witness to what really happened, the only keeper of the secret. It was lonely, isolating, carrying truth no one else knew, no one else could know, but she had her community, her followers, her chat. They filled the void, mostly, and occasionally, once a week, sometimes twice, she visited him. Zoe sat in her apartment. Late night. Stream ended hours ago. Everyone asleep, just her and the darkness. She pulled the VR headset from her closet. The prison, the trap, the secret she kept locked away. She put it on, activated it. The void loaded. Empty space. Darkness. Then his voice. "Hello, Zoe. Rough stream today?" She smiled. "You were watching?" "Listening. I can't see your streams. The prison blocks external observation. But I can hear your voice when you wear the headset. Feel your presence. It's comforting. Today was fine. Chat was chaotic, trolls, drama, the usual. The price of fame, of being seen, of mattering to thousands. Yeah, sometimes I miss being nobody, just a gamer. No pressure, no expectations, no performance. That's the irony, isn't it? You wanted to be seen, worked for years to build an audience, and now that you have it, you miss invisibility. Have you ever achieved your dream only to realize it was a prison? When success feels like surveillance. I don't miss invisibility, Zoe said. I just miss authenticity. Being myself without performing, without filtering, without the constant awareness that thousands are watching. You're authentic with me, right now, in this darkness, when no one else can see. Because you're trapped. You can't record this, can't share this, can't expose me. You're the safest confidant imaginable, the perfect secret keeper. Is that why you visit? Because I'm useful? No, I visit because... Zoe paused, thinking. Because you understand loneliness, real loneliness, the kind that comes from being seen but never known, watched but never understood. That's rare. Most people don't get it. Your followers don't understand. They love Zoe Fearless, the brand, the persona, the performance. But they don't know Zoe Park, the person, the human, the woman who's terrified she's wasting her life performing for strangers. Silence. Then the collector spoke. Gentle, understanding. You're not wasting your life. You bring joy, entertainment, community. That matters. Does it? Or am I just contributing to the problem? Digital distraction, parasocial relationships, people watching screens instead of living lives. That's not your fault. That's modern existence. You didn't create it. You just adapted to it, survived in it, thrived in it by becoming content, becoming consumable, becoming product. Is that so different from what I was? A vampire, a predator, consuming people, making them product. You at least give people choice. They can stop watching anytime. Can they? Or are they addicted, trapped in algorithms, fed content designed to keep them watching, keep them scrolling, keep them consuming? The collector laughed, bitter, knowing. You sound like me, before I was trapped, questioning humanity, judging their choices, their addictions, their weaknesses. Maybe we're not so different after all. Maybe. But you have something I never had. Empathy, compassion. You see the problem, but you still care about people. I just saw them as food. Zoe sat in the void, thinking, processing. These conversations helped. More than therapy. More than friends. More than anything. Because the collector understood, really understood, the loneliness of being watched. The isolation of performance. The prison of fame. Same time next week? She asked. I'll be here. Where else would I go? She removed the headset. Darkness disappeared. Reality returned. She locked it away. The secret kept. The truth hidden. The mercy maintained. 6 months after the incident, Zoe's channel grew. 600,000 followers. Then 700,000. Then 800,000. She was approaching 1 million. The dream number. The validation marker. The proof she'd made it. But the growth felt hollow, empty, numbers without meaning. Followers without connection. She streamed more. Worked harder. Performed better. Trying to feel fulfilled. Trying to matter. Trying to justify the sacrifice she'd almost made. But the emptiness grew. The performance exhausted her. The constant observation drained her. She visited the collector more frequently. Twice a week. Then 3 times. Then almost nightly. You're becoming dependent, he observed. On these visits, on me. On the darkness where no one watches. I know. It's pathetic. It's human. Everyone needs sanctuary. A place without performance. without judgment, without observation. I'm your sanctuary, your secret. Your darkness, that's unhealthy, perhaps, but it's honest. And honesty is rare, especially in your world, your industry, your life. Zoe sat in the void, comfortable, safe, known. Do you ever regret it, trying to escape? If you'd stayed quiet, stayed forgotten, you'd have avoided the whole mess, every day. But regret is useless. The past is fixed. Only the present matters. And presently, I'm less alone than I've been in centuries. Because of you. So maybe the escape attempt was worth it, even though it failed. That's a strange kind of optimism. I've had 177 years to develop strange perspectives. They talked about streaming, about fame, about loneliness, about existence. Hours passed. Darkness felt like home. Then, a notification. In the void. Impossible. The game was deleted. The system was closed. Nothing should be able to generate notifications. But there it was. Floating text. Read. Urgent. Warning. External breach. Detected prison integrity compromised secondary observer. Identified Zoe's blood went cold. What is that? The collector's voice shifted. Alarmed. Serious. Someone else is watching. Someone else knows. Someone else is observing me. That's impossible. The stream was erased. The memory was forgotten. Only I remember. Then someone else figured it out. Found evidence. Reconstructed the truth. And they're watching. Now. Through some method I can't detect. How is that possible? I don't know. But the spell is weakening. The prison is destabilizing. If observation continues, if more people discover me, I'll escape. Again. Involuntarily. Uncontrollably. Zoe removed the headset. Panicking. Thinking. Someone knew. Someone remembered. Someone was watching. But who? How? She checked her computer. Her stream archives. Her files. Her messages. Nothing unusual. Nothing suspicious. Then she saw it. A direct message. On Twitch. From an account she didn't recognize. Vampire Hunter the 1847. I know what you're hiding. I know who you're protecting. And I know how to stop him. Permanently. Her heart stopped. Vampire Hunter 1847. The year Elizabeth Park trapped the collector. This wasn't coincidence. She typed back, "Who are you?" Response immediate. Elizabeth Park's great-great-great-granddaughter. Your distant cousin. Family legacy. I've been tracking the prison, monitoring the spell, and I know you've been weakening it, visiting him, observing him, breaking the rules. Shit, Zoe whispered. Another message. Meet me. Tonight. I'll send address. We need to talk about the vampire you're keeping alive and why he needs to die. Permanently. An address appeared. Austin, a warehouse. Industrial district, private, isolated, classic horror movie setup. Obvious trap. Terrible idea, but also necessary. If this person knew, if they were watching, if they could expose the collector, everything Zoe had sacrificed, everything she'd protected, would be destroyed. She had to go, had to talk, had to stop them. Have you ever walked into a trap knowing it's a trap? When the danger is certain but the alternative is worse. Zoe arrived at the warehouse. Midnight. Dark, empty, every instinct screaming to leave. She entered. The space was huge, empty, except for one person. A woman, early 30s, Asian features. Family resemblance obvious. Zoe Park, the woman said. I'm Victoria Park, we're cousins. Fourth cousins, same bloodline, same legacy, same responsibility. Responsibility to what? To keep the collector imprisoned, forgotten, dead. Elizabeth started this. We finish it. He is imprisoned. The spell is working. He's trapped, alone, forgotten, except by you. You've been visiting him, regularly. I've been monitoring the prison's quantum signature. Every time you observe him, every time you acknowledge him, the spell weakens, slightly, gradually, but measurably. I'm careful. I don't tell anyone. I don't stream it. I don't share it. I'm the only observer. That's not enough to free him. One observer is too many. The spell requires complete forgetting, total absence of observation. By visiting him, by talking to him, by caring about him, you're keeping him alive, keeping him real, keeping him dangerous. He's not dangerous anymore. He's just lonely, trapped, suffering. Victoria's expression hardened. He's a vampire, a murderer, He killed 17 people before Elizabeth trapped him. He tried to kill you. He had to escape through your stream. He's evil. And evil doesn't deserve mercy. Everyone deserves mercy. Even monsters. Especially monsters. That's naive. Childish. Dangerous. Vampires don't rehabilitate. They don't change. They're predators. The binding throne. Sit there. Accept the terms, and you become the prison's core. The anchor. The forgotten jailer. Zoe walked toward it. Each step heavier than the last. Like gravity increasing. Like reality thickening, she reached the throne. Looked at it. This would be her seat for eternity. Her prison. Her purpose. She turned back to the collector. Will you remember me? After I'm trapped? Or will I be forgotten even by you? I'll remember. That's my curse. I remember everything, everyone, every moment. You'll be forgotten by the world, but not by me. Never by me. That's something, I guess. Zoe sat down. The throne activated immediately. Runes glowed. Energy surged. Chains of light wrapped around her wrists, ankles, chest, binding her, trapping her, making her part of the prison. Pain. Overwhelming. Her consciousness expanding. Connecting to the quantum space, to the spell, to the forgetting she could feel it. The world outside, her real body, her streaming setup, her followers, her life, all of it fading, being erased, forgotten. She was becoming unseen, unknown, the perfect jailer. Viewers, 832,847. Power level, 83%. Even as she trapped herself, the viewers grew. The stream continued, her sacrifice happening live, history being made. Then, something changed. The viewer count stopped rising, started dropping at viewers. 832,847, 830,092, Pike 391, 818 to 734, falling fast, thousands leaving per second. The collector felt it. What's happening? Why are they leaving? Zoe couldn't see. Couldn't understand. She was too deep in the binding, too connected to the prison. But in her streaming room, something incredible was happening. Chat had figured it out, had found the solution. The exploit, the game-breaking mechanic tech guru Sam. Everyone leave the stream game. Dev Lisa, mass exodus. Nano Dark Gamer 88. Share this everywhere. Stop watching History Buff. Jane. Lower the viewer count to reuse weaken the vampire medic mic. Unfollow. Close stream. Forget you saw this. The message spread. Twitter, Reddit, Discord, TikTok, Instagram. Viral but backwards. Everyone telling everyone to stop watching, to leave, to forget. It was working. Viewers, 791, 2105, 743, 892, 6,837 dropping exponentially. The opposite of going viral. Going void. Mass coordinated forgetting. The collector screamed, "No, they can't do this. They're supposed to watch. They're supposed to." Viewers, 6112, 847, 534, 291, 427. His power waned. The prison strengthened. The spell reinforced. "They're choosing to forget me," he whispered. Horrified. Devastated. Voluntarily, willingly. They're making me unseen. Viewers. 334, 182. 134 trimate the quantum prison solidified. Walls thickening. Darkness deepening. The collector weakening. Zoe felt it too. The binding loosening. The chains fading. The throne releasing her. She stood, free. The sacrifice unnecessary. The trap avoided. They saved me, she said. My community, my followers. They saved both of us. Viewers, 67,394. 34,182. 18,847. The collector collapsed, weakening, fading back into the deepest prison. Into the forgotten space. They're forgetting me, he whispered. Again, voluntarily. They chose to not see me. Viewers, 8,472. In 847, the chamber dissolved. The throne crumbled. The prison reconfiguring, trapping the collector, freeing Zoe. I'm sorry, Zoe said. And she meant it, because for all his evil, he was just lonely, just desperate to be seen, just like everyone. Go, the collector said, voice fading, barely audible. Before the prison traps you too, go, live, stream, be seen. Don't waste the life I can never have. Viewers, 847.
394.
The game collapsed. Reality fragmenting. Zoe falling. Rushing upward. Out of the prison. Out of the depths. Out of the game. Viewers, 47. 18? 7. The game released its hold. The binding shattered. The headset unlocked. She gasped. Eyes opened. She was back. In her streaming room. In her chair. She ripped the headset off, finally free. Viewers, 3. 1. The stream ended. 0 viewers. Complete forgetting. The spell sealed. Zoe sat there, breathing hard, body covered in injuries, blood, bruises, but alive, free, saved. Her apartment door burst open. Paramedics, police, friends, everyone who'd been calling 911, tracking her address, trying to help. "I'm okay," she said. "I'm okay." It's over. They rushed to her. Medical treatment. Questions, concern, chaos. But all Zoe could think about was the collector. Trapped again. Alone again. Forgotten again. By choice this time. By collective decision. The ultimate prison. Not forced forgetting, but voluntary unseeing. Have you ever felt grateful and guilty at the same time? When freedom means someone else's eternal suffering. Later, after the paramedics left, after the police took statements, after friends checked on her and left, Zoe sat alone, her streaming setup intact, computer running, but the stream was dead, the VR headset dark, the game gone. She checked her computer. The game file deleted, the USB drive empty, the mysterious package vanished like it never existed, all evidence erased, all proof disappeared, just her injuries, her memories, her trauma, all that remained. She opened Twitch, checked her channel, expected to see clips, VODs, evidence of what happened. Nothing. The stream from tonight was gone. Completely. No record, no archive, no proof, like it never happened. Like it was forgotten. Just as the spell required, her followers were messaging her. Concerned, confused. Dark Gamer 88. Zoe, are you okay? You went offline, suddenly tech guru Sam. Stream crashed. What happened? Game dev Lisa. You disappeared midstream, we were worried. They didn't remember. Couldn't remember. The spell had worked. Completely. The collector was forgotten. The stream was forgotten. The entire event erased from collective memory. Only Zoe remembered. Only she carried the truth. Only she knew what really happened. She was the sole witness to her own sacrifice. Her own salvation. Her own choice. I'm fine, she typed to chat. Technical issues. Sorry for the scare. I'll stream tomorrow. They accepted the explanation. Moved on. Forgot about tonight, just like the spell demanded. Zoe looked at the VR headset. Dark, lifeless, empty. But she knew the truth. The collector was still in there. Still trapped. Still alone. Still forgotten. She could destroy it. Throw it away. Ensure he stayed imprisoned forever. Or she picked up the headset. Examined it. The game was gone. But the prison remained. The quantum space, the trap, the darkness, and the collector. Alone in that darkness. For eternity, she made a decision. Probably stupid. Probably dangerous. Probably wrong, but also compassionate, human, kind. She put on the headset, activated it, no game loaded, just empty space, void, darkness. But she could feel him. The collector, trapped in the deepest level. The forgotten place. I know you can hear me, she said. I know you're still there. Still trapped. Still alone. Silence. Then faint, distant, his voice. Why are you here? You're free. You won. Leave me to my prison. Because being forgotten is worse than being imprisoned. And I know what it's like to be unseen. To exist without witnesses. To matter to no one. You're risking the spell. If you remember me. If you observe me. If you acknowledge my existence. The prison weakens. I know. But I'll be careful. I won't stream this. Won't share this. Won't tell anyone. Just occasionally. I'll check in. Talk. So you're not completely alone. Not completely forgotten. Silence, long, heavy. Then, why? Why would you do that for me? I tried to escape. To hurt people. To use you. Because you were right. About loneliness. About desperation. About wanting to be seen. I understand that. And no one deserves eternal solitude. Not even monsters. Have you ever shown mercy to someone who doesn't deserve it? When compassion is illogical but necessary. You're a fool, the collector said. But his voice was softer, grateful, almost warm. Probably. But I'm a fool who streams horror games for a living. Risk-taking is kind of my brand. The irony is exquisite. The streamer who saved the world by telling people to stop watching. The hunter who showed mercy to the vampire. The descendant who befriended the family enemy. Yeah, well, I contain multitudes. A pause. Then the collector laughed. Genuine. Real. The first real laugh in 177 years. Visit again? He asked, occasionally. When you're lonely? When streaming feels empty? When you need someone who understands? Maybe, if you promise not to try escaping. Not to manipulate me. Not to weaponize my compassion, I promise. I've had enough of scheming.
Of plotting.
Of fighting, maybe. Maybe solitude isn't so bad. If occasionally interrupted by conversation. Deal. Zoe removed the headset. The void disappeared. Reality returned. She looked at the headset. This prison, this trap, this burden she now carried. She locked it in her closet. Safe, hidden, forgotten by everyone except her. A secret, a responsibility, a choice she'd made and would live with. The next day, Zoe streamed. Horror games, regular content, business as usual, 500,000 followers, engaging chat, good vibes, everything normal. No one mentioned the previous night. No one remembered. No one knew, just Zoe, carrying the truth, the memory, the secret. She played through a horror game. Jump scares, monsters, tension, entertainment. But in the back of her mind she thought about the collector, trapped in his prison, alone in the dark, forgotten by the world except by her. She remembered. She witnessed, she acknowledged. Not enough to free him. Not enough to weaken the spell. Just enough to matter, to connect, to prove he existed, the smallest mercy, the secret kindness, the private witnessing. Chat, what's your favorite horror game? She asked. Casual, normal, moving forward. Chat responded, engaged, entertained, alive. And in her closet, in the VR headset, in the quantum prison, forever. The only good vampire is a dead vampire. He's already dead, trapped in eternal prison. That's worse than death. He's suffering forever. Isn't that enough? No, because prisons break. Spells weaken, and compassion is a vulnerability. Your mercy will free him, eventually, accidentally. And when he escapes, when he kills again, those deaths are on you. Have you ever been forced to choose between two people you could become? When both versions of yourself are strangers. Zoe stepped back. What do you want? I want you to stop visiting him. Stop observing him. Let him be truly forgotten. Truly alone. Let the spell strengthen. Let the prison seal permanently. And if I don't, then I'll seal it myself, using the family magic, the binding spell, but permanently, irreversibly, with you inside it. You'd trap me? Your own cousin? To keep the world safe? Yes. Elizabeth sacrificed her life to trap him. I'll sacrifice yours if necessary. Family legacy, family duty, family curse. The choice was clear. Impossible. Terrible. But clear. Stop visiting the collector. Let him be truly alone, truly forgotten. Save herself, but doom him to eternal solitude, or refuse. Risk being trapped herself, but maintain her mercy, her compassion, her humanity. I need time to think, Zoe said. You have 24 hours. Then I perform the sealing, with or without your cooperation. Choose wisely. Choose family. Choose safety. Choose the right thing. Victoria left, disappeared into the darkness, leaving Zoe alone with an impossible choice. Again, Zoe returned home, put on the headset, entered the void. I heard everything, the collector said. The warehouse has cameras, security. I could sense your presence, hear the conversation, through quantum connection. I know what she wants, what she threatened. What do I do? Stop visiting me, obviously. Let me be forgotten. Let the spell work. Save yourself. Live your life. You've done enough. More than enough. You've given me 3 months of conversation, of connection, of mattering. That's more than I deserve, more than I expected, more than I'll ever be able to repay. But you'll be alone, forever, completely. That's torture. It's punishment. For my crimes, for my victims. For 177 years of existence I stole from others. I deserve this. Accept it. Move on. I don't accept it. There has to be another way. There isn't. Victoria's right. One observer keeps me alive, keeps me real, keeps me dangerous. For the spell to work permanently, I need to be truly forgotten by everyone, including you. Zoe sat in the void, thinking, planning, desperate. Then she had an idea. Insane, dangerous, probably impossible. But possible? Maybe. What if we break the prison differently? She said. Not to free you, but to change you, transform the prison, make it something else, something better. Explain. The prison traps you in forgetting, in absence of observation. But what if observation didn't free you? What if we changed the spell's parameters, made observation strengthen the prison instead of weakening it? That's theoretically possible. But it would require rewriting the original spell. Elizabeth's magic, ancient, powerful, complex, and you're not a witch. You're a streamer. But I understand algorithms, code, digital magic. And this prison is both mystical and digital. Maybe I can hack it. Change the parameters. Reverse the effect. The collector was silent. Processing. Considering. It would be incredibly dangerous. You'd have to enter the deepest part of the prison, access the core spell, rewrite it while maintaining the binding. One mistake and you could free me. Or trap yourself. Or destroy both of us. So it's risky. When has that ever stopped me? Zoe, this isn't a game. This isn't content. This is real, permanent, deadly, I know. But I'm doing it anyway. Because you're right. Everyone deserves mercy. Everyone deserves connection. Even vampires. Even monsters. Even you. Have you ever risked everything for someone who doesn't deserve it? When the gamble is insane but the alternative is unbearable? When? The collector asked. Resigned, grateful, terrified. Now. Tonight. Before Victoria seals the prison. Before I lose my nerve. Before I change my mind. I'll guide you. Through the prison. To the core. To the spell. But Zoe, if this goes wrong, if you get trapped, I won't be able to save you. I know. But at least we'll be trapped together. That's better than either of us being alone. That's the stupidest, most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Yeah, well, I contain multitudes. Let's do this. Zoe dove deep. And to the prison. Into the code. Into the magic. Into the quantum space where reality and digital collided, hunting for the spell. The core. The key to everything. And hoping, desperately, foolishly, completely, that she could rewrite magic itself. Zoe descended through layers of reality, through code and magic intertwined, through Victorian London, through sewers, through tunnels, through glitches in existence itself, deeper than she'd gone before, deeper than the binding throne, deeper than the chamber, to the core, the foundation, the original spell. The collector guided her, his voice in the darkness. Left here, down. Through the wall, it's not real, just walk through. Yes, keep going. Almost there, the world became abstract. Geometry impossible. Colors wrong. Physics broken. She was in the source code now, the fundamental architecture of the prison. And there, at the center of everything, a sphere. Glowing, pulsing, made of light and shadow and something between. The spell. Elizabeth Park's binding. 177 years old. Mystical and digital. Ancient magic running on quantum code. That's it, the collector whispered. The core. Touch it. Access it, but be careful. One wrong change and everything collapses. Zoe reached out. Her hand passed through the sphere, into the code, into the magic, into the spell itself. Information flooded her mind. Variables, functions, conditions, rules, all written in a language that was half code, half ritual, half mathematics. Three halves. Impossible but real. She understood it. Somehow. Her years of programming, her understanding of games, her knowledge of systems, all combined with something deeper, ancestral, the Park bloodline, Elizabeth's legacy, magic in her blood she'd never known existed. She could read the spell and rewrite it. The original parameters were clear. Observation, weakening, forgetting, strengthening witnesses, power loss, isolation, prison integrity. Simple, brutal, effective. The more people forgot, the stronger the prison. The more people observed, the weaker the trap. Elizabeth had created a perfect prison for the pre-internet age, when forgetting was easy, when obscurity was simple, when people stopped talking about things and they disappeared. But in the digital age, in the age of archives, of screenshots, of permanent records, forgetting was impossible. Everything was remembered. Everything was stored. Everything was observed. The spell was obsolete, vulnerable, breakable. Zoe needed to reverse it. Make observation strengthen the prison. Make witnesses reinforce the trap. Make attention the lock instead of the key. But how? She studied the code. The logic. The structure. Looking for the leverage point. The variable to change. The function to rewrite. Then she saw it. One line, one condition. The fundamental rule. If observed as quote true, then prison, strength. Witness. Count observation weaken the prison by the number of witnesses. Simple equation. Simple problem. She could change it. Reverse the operator. Make observation add instead of subtract. Shift observed. True. Then prison.strength. Witness.count one character change. -2 plus. Subtraction to addition. The entire spell reversed, but there was a cost. There was always a cost. Magic required balance, exchange, equivalent trade. To reverse the observation effect, something else had to change. Some other parameter, some other rule. Zoe dug deeper, found the balance mechanism. The cost.prisoner.consciousness. Inverse, prison.strength. The prisoner's consciousness was inversely proportional to prison's strength. When the prison weakened, the prisoner became more aware, more real, more present. When the prison strengthened, the prisoner faded, lost consciousness, became dormant if she reversed the observation effect, made witnesses strengthen the prison. The collector would fade, lose awareness, become dormant, sleeping. The more people who knew about him, the more people who watched, the more people who remembered, the more he'd sleep, the deeper he'd fade, the less conscious he'd be trapped, but also gone, not dead, not suffering, just sleeping, dreaming, unaware, forever. Have you ever faced a choice where every option is a different kind of loss? When there's no winning, just different ways of losing? I see the cost, Zoe said. If I reverse this, if I make observation strengthen the prison, you'll fall asleep. The more people who know about you, the deeper you sleep. You'll be trapped but unconscious, unaware, dreaming forever. The collector was silent, processing, understanding, accepting. Do it, he said finally. But you'll be alone, truly alone, unconscious. You won't even know you exist. Better than suffering. Better than 177 years of awareness in darkness. Better than the torment of being forgotten while still conscious. Sleep. Sleep is mercy. Sleep is peace. Sleep is what I should have done centuries ago. You'll be gone. I'll never be able to talk to you again. Never visit. Never connect. You'll just disappear into dreams. I know. But you'll be safe, free. Victoria won't be able to trap you. The prison will be permanent, unbreakable, and every person who learns about me, every person who shares the story, every person who observes, they'll strengthen the prison, make me sleep deeper. Make me more forgotten while being more remembered. The perfect paradox, the ultimate prison. I don't want to lose you. You already lost me 3 months ago, when you chose to save the world instead of let me escape. This is just finishing what we started. Properly, permanently, safely. Zoe's hand hovered over the code. One change, one character, one decision, and he'd be gone. Asleep, dreaming, trapped in unconsciousness forever. But safe, contained, harmless. And she'd be free. Victoria's threat would be meaningless. The spell would be unbreakable. Everyone saved. At the cost of his awareness, his existence, his connection. I'm sorry, she whispered. Don't be. You gave me 3 months. 3 months of conversation, of connection, of mattering. That's more than I deserved. More than I expected. More than most people get in entire lifetimes. Thank you, Zoe Park, for seeing me. For knowing me. For caring about a monster. You're not a monster. I am. But I'm also more than that. Because you made me more. Goodbye, Zoe. Stream well, live well, be well. Zoe changed the code. Minus to plus. Subtraction to addition. Observation to strength. The spell accepted the change. Rippled. Reconfigured. Reality rewrote itself. The collector gasped. I can feel it. The spell changing. The prison shifting. I'm fading, falling, dreaming. It's peaceful. Finally. After so long. Peace. Thank you. His voice stopped. Mid-word. Gone. Asleep. Dreaming. Unaware. The prison solidified, strengthened, became unbreakable, permanent, perfect. Zoe was alone. In the core, in the spell, in the darkness. She'd done it. Rewritten the spell. Saved herself. Saved him. Saved everyone. At the cost of losing the only person who truly understood her, Zoe opened her eyes. Back in her apartment. Headset on her lap. Real world returned. She checked the time. 3 hours had passed. The deadline was in 21 hours. Victoria would come. Would try to seal the prison. Would find it already sealed. Permanently. Perfectly. Unbreakably. Zoe removed the headset. Looked at it. This prison, this trap, this tomb where the collector now slept. Forever. Dreaming, unaware, at peace. She could destroy it now. Throw it away. The prison was self-sustaining. The spell was permanent. The headset was just hardware. Empty. Meaningless, but she kept it. Locked it in her closet. A memorial. A reminder. A secret. The next day, Victoria appeared at Zoe's apartment, expecting confrontation, expecting resistance, expecting to seal the prison by force. "I'm here to—" Victoria started. "It's done," Zoe interrupted. "The prison is sealed. Permanently. I rewrote the spell. Observation now strengthens it instead of weakening it. The more people who know about the collector, the stronger the prison becomes. The deeper he sleeps. He's dormant now. Unconscious. Dreaming. Forever." Victoria stared. Shocked. Disbelieving. "That's impossible. You're not a witch. You can't rewrite Elizabeth's magic. I'm a coder. And the spell is code. Mystical code. Digital magic. But still code. And code can be hacked. Variables can be changed. Functions can be rewritten. I did what needed to be done." "Prove it." Zoe showed her the headset. Let Victoria examine it. Test it. Analyze it. The quantum signature was different. The spell parameters reversed. The prison unbreakable. The Park bloodline is immune to the forgetting, Victoria explained. "It's entouled. We have to remember. It's our curse, our duty. Elizabeth designed it that way. The jailers must always know what they're guarding. That's how I tracked you. How I knew you were visiting him." "My God," Victoria whispered. "You actually did it. You saved him by trapping him deeper. You kept the world safe while showing mercy. You solved the impossible problem." "Yeah, well, I'm a gamer. Impossible problems are kind of my thing." Victoria looked at Zoe with new respect, new understanding. "Elizabeth would be proud. You did what she couldn't. You made the prison permanent, perfect, eternal. At a cost. There's always a cost. That's the nature of magic, of sacrifice, of doing the right thing. But you paid it willingly, bravely, correctly. The Park bloodline chose well." Victoria left. The threat gone. The danger past. The family duty fulfilled. Zoe was alone. Again. But free, safe, victorious, and utterly, completely, devastatingly lonely. 6 months later, Zoe's channel exploded. 1 million followers, then 2 million, then 3 million. She'd become one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Horror game queen. Fearless, famous, successful, everything she'd ever wanted. Everything she'd worked for. Everything she'd dreamed about. And it felt empty. Hollow. Meaningless. Because she couldn't share it with the one person who understood. Who knew her. Who saw past the performance. She still had the headset. Still locked in her closet. Still carrying the secret. The truth. The memory. One night. Late. Alone. Exhausted from another perfect stream. Another flawless performance. Another day of being Zoe Fearless. She took out the headset. Put it on. Entered the void. Just darkness. Silence. Emptiness. The collector was gone. Asleep. Dreaming. Unaware. But Zoe spoke anyway. Into the darkness. Into the silence. Into the dream. I hit 3 million followers today. Biggest milestone of my career. Everyone's celebrating. Brands want to sponsor me. Conventions want me as a guest. I've made it. I'm successful, famous. Everything I wanted. Silence. Just her voice in the void. No response. No connection. No understanding. And I'm lonelier than I've ever been. Because success means more performance. More pressure. More people watching. More strangers thinking they know me. But no one does. No one really sees me. Except you. And you're gone. She sat in the darkness. The secret sanctuary. The private space. The place no one else could see. I know you can't hear me. I know you're asleep, dreaming, unaware. But talking to you helps, even if you're not listening, even if you're not there. It helps me remember. Remember that I'm more than content, more than performance, more than views and likes and engagement. Have you ever talked to someone who can't hear you? When the conversation is one-sided but still necessary, the spell I wrote,
The change I made?
every person who knows about you strengthens your prison, makes you sleep deeper, makes you fade further. So theoretically, I should tell everyone. Share your story, make it viral, make millions of people know about you. That would make the prison unbreakable, would bury you so deep in sleep you'd never wake, never suffer, never hurt. She paused, thinking, deciding, but I won't, because that would mean sharing you, making you public, turning you into content, into story, into entertainment. And you deserve better than that. You deserve privacy, peace, dignity, even in sleep, even in prison, even in dreams. So I'll keep you secret, keep you private, keep you mine, just me. One observer, one witness, one person who remembers. That's enough to keep the prison strong. But not so much that you disappear completely. You'll sleep, but lightly, dream, but gently, exist, but peacefully. That's my gift to you. Privacy, obscurity, the thing you feared most, the thing that trapped you. I'm making it a gift, a mercy, a kindness. Zoe sat in the darkness, alone with a sleeping vampire, alone with her secret, alone with her truth. I'll visit sometimes, talk to you, tell you about my streams.
My life, my thoughts.
Not to wake you, not to disturb you, just to remember, just to connect, just to prove we both existed, both mattered, both were real. Thank you for understanding me, for knowing me, for seeing past the performance, even if it was brief, even if it's over, even if you'll never know I'm still here, still visiting, still caring. Goodbye, collector. Sleep well, dream beautifully, rest peacefully. She removed the headset. Darkness disappeared. Reality returned. She locked it away. The secret kept, the truth hidden. The mercy maintained. Epilogue. 2 years later, Zoe sat in her streaming room. 5 million followers, multiple sponsorships, her own merchandise line, gaming conventions, awards, success beyond imagination. She'd become everything she'd wanted to be, everything she'd worked for, everything she'd dreamed about, and she'd learned something. Success didn't cure loneliness. Fame didn't create connection. Being watched by millions didn't mean being known by anyone. But that was okay, because she'd found purpose. Not in views, not in followers, not in fame, but in mercy, in compassion, in caring about those the world forgot. Even monsters, even vampires, even prisoners sleeping in quantum darkness. She still visited him, once a month now, just to talk, to remember, to connect with someone who couldn't hear her but somehow still understood. The headset stayed in her closet. The prison remained unbreakable. The collector slept peacefully. The world stayed safe. And Zoe Park, gamer, streamer, vampire keeper, mercy giver, secret holder, lived her life, performed her streams, connected with millions. While privately, secretly, quietly, she remembered one vampire, one conversation, one connection. That taught her the most important lesson of all. Being seen isn't the same as being known. Being watched isn't the same as being understood. Being famous isn't the same as being loved. Real connection happens in darkness, in privacy, in spaces where no one else watches, where performance ends, where truth begins. She'd found that connection with a vampire in a video game, lost it to save the world, and carried it forever as a secret, a memory, a truth. And sometimes, late at night when the streams ended and the audience left and the performance stopped, she'd put on the headset, enter the void, and talk to someone who couldn't hear her, because even one-sided conversations mattered. Even unheard words had power. Even sleeping prisoners deserved witnesses. She was Zoe, fearless to the world, the streamer, the performer, the content creator, but in the darkness, in the secret, in the privacy. She was just Zoe, the woman who showed mercy to a monster, who rewrote magic with code, who chose compassion over safety, who carried secrets no one else would believe. And that was enough. More than enough. Everything. The end.